Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sports Card Advantage video of the week. We're going to be talking about what everybody else is talking about in the hobby this week, and that is the Layton Sports Card and Blez break of 2021 Flawless Basketball. It was 25 spots, $40,000 a spot. It happened last Thursday, March 24th at 7 p.m. At the setting of the Mint Collective in Vegas. Everybody had really high hopes for this, and coming off the heels of the whole hype with Drake looking for the logo man, partnering up with some bigger breakers. Pull Wax did an event earlier in the week, had 5,000 people in their live. You had everybody who was anybody in their live talking and shooting the shit about the hobby, and things are great. And then these guys announced this break, and everybody got their hopes up and said this is going to be fantastic. And it seemed to be anything but fantastic. If you look at some of the posts on Layton's Instagram and you watch them at the beginning of it, they basically came up with this thing on the fly. I'm gonna play part of this video, the introduction from Layton here.
We came up with this idea on the fly on Saturday. It is now Thursday, and we have put together something incredible.
So mistake number one, you tried to put this thing together in 3 days. The thing that I think that people forget is that this hobby, as far as it being out on a main stage, a bigger event, this type of thing is like, the hobby is not that old in regards to that kind of thing. I mean, these guys are used to doing this stuff in their offices, break rooms at home, that kind of thing, versus, hey, we're doing this big event in Vegas, and what should we do? And trying to throw that together on the fly led to all types of problems. So you have this dude who's the main, I guess, one of the owners at Layton, and then one of the owners at Blez. And from what I understand, the event itself, at least online, wasn't very well attended. People said it was boring. People said that cards wound up off screen, which Layton never does. At their home breaks. People said that the cards were poorly handled. At one point, Blez had his shirt off. You also had another controversial issue that they hired models to like bring up the cases, and that led to a whole nother uproar. So you have two sides of this story here, and that is basically one side that said everything was great, it's Vegas, entertain. And then another side said, it's inappropriate for my kids, inappropriate for women. The chat was toxic. Once again, it's people are new to this. It's not like Mint Collective or events in Vegas have been going on for years in the hobby, and people have made these mistakes and learned from them. And these guys are breaking new ground, and the logic is, it's Vegas, sex sells, let's hire some models, let's, make an event of it. And they threw it all together at the last minute. You throw in alcohol, you throw in Vegas, and it turned into a shit show. And that led to this statement being made by Layton, that they respect that there are many different kinds of breakers. They have a long tradition of being family friendly, remain true to those principles. I think this was completely unnecessary for them to have to make this statement. Anybody who knows these guys and has seen their breaks before know that they are, they're the number one in the space as far as breakers are concerned. They have an upstanding reputation. They've been doing it for years. And unfortunately, to me, it comes off as a little bit of a money grab. these guys have a markup of probably 50%, on their products. So if they're selling the spaces for 40K a piece, 25, and they made $1 million, they probably cleared half a million. And, so it looks bad that if you're making that kind of money, you didn't put together a better event. You're in some little room, and you don't, it just wasn't filmed right. It wasn't done right. So I think the intentions were there, but, the hobby is going to have growing pains. And, this is one of them. I don't think it's a black eye on anybody other than, it seems like Blaze, who I personally don't have any experience with, breaking or otherwise, acted like a bit of a jackass and, ruined a lot for that. Plus, you had a lot of people in the chat that were, incredibly toxic, making all kinds of inappropriate comments, which made certain people uncomfortable. Unfortunately, that's the internet these days. Go on Twitter for 5 seconds and you're going to get the same stuff. And these guys could have done a better job controlling some of it with mods for their live chats and other things. But once again, it's a brand new day in the hobby, turning more and more into a show. And they made it. They took a shot and they missed. So we'll see what happens. I don't think it'll have any long term impact on Layton at all. But I want to see additional showmanship. I want to see people try to make events of this and do things that are going to be, good for the hobby and continue to bring in a bigger audience and do other stuff. So we'll see what happens. But I think the apology was overblown. I think that a lot of people got their feelings hurt that they shouldn't have, complaining about bad examples for their kids. It's like, you're a parent, be a parent. You know, if you have to turn it off and your kids can't watch it, it is what it is. Like, don't go and like scream at these guys who 99% of the time show up and do it right. And or do ask them to, like, hey guys, can you edit out the models and put something up on YouTube so that I can show my kids. And last and final thought here, um, the thing that was the most telling is that there really wasn't a ton of big pulls. It was $1 million, and you scroll through their Instagram as far as like what they posted out of the break. I see one. I see one patch auto out of 25 to Mellow. Obviously that'll sell for big cash. But there's not a whole lot else here that's going to be huge. I mean, nobody's really getting that excited about a Michael Porter one of one logo man. Yeah, it's nice, but it's not nothing that I'm getting like super excited about. And one of one Tyrese Halliburton, no auto, no patch, the diamond. Also, it's like, okay. So, all in all, unfortunately, a failure. I think the thought was there, and it was good intention, but the execution was bad, and that'll come with time, and everybody will learn a lesson, and we'll see what happens with the next one. Somebody will eventually try something similar, and because they sold the 40 spots out in 11 hours. So this isn't going to be the last time we see something like this, and hopefully people learn from it and do a better job next time. Thanks all, the video of the week, and we'll see you next week.